Ladies and gentlemen and ladies and gents, we got a wonderful little controversy going on right here. And this is with Mr. Prince. And he wants to talk to y'all about controversy. So we're going to let him play in the background. Now, I got my little Hewlett Packard 8740. This is my printer. And we doing some little checking on stuff in the background. I'm gonna let that stay in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, we got, as I said, a controversy going on. Now, you see this little creature right here? I just decided to put that up there, okay? Won't be doing that in the future. Just put him up there because I needed something different. Don't y'all sometimes feel like a little change? A little change ain't never hurt nobody. So we got a little change. What a little controversy. Move that. I'll put the timer right here. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a conversation. The situation is we're going to turn down this because in my background, I can hear it all right, but I just got to remember that the volume adjustment, I ain't checked yet. So I apologize. But we're going to talk about the situation, the contract situation. Of course, and I promise you, just in a week or so, check the videos and check the people who are talking and watch and see how many people are going to be talking about contracts now. And that's okay because that's exactly what I'm aiming for. I want everybody and their grandmama to talk about contracts. Why? Because the entire system is a system of contracts. Everything is by way of contract, by way of some type of an agreement. You go to the store to buy some food, you give the person some whatever, money, credit card, whatever. That's a contractual negotiation, agreement, exchange, however you want to call it. It's a contract. When you step outside your door, you put the key into the lock. You're making a contract between yourself, the key, and the lock, and the door, and the building, and whatever else. When you breathe, you're making a contract. I know it sounds juvenile, but it's all about contract. It has always been about contract. I remember there's a young man, some of you may know of him. His name is Sam Davis. Now, a lot of people don't have a lot of good things to say about Sam Davis, but let me tell you something. The information that man was giving out on his videos when Sam was doing his videos, one of them gurus, Sam Davis, he talked about how he had a friend that went into court, brought a pen and a piece of paper. Well, he brought a pen and a pad, he would say, and they would call his name for whatever case he had going on, and he would stand up and say, "Yes, I'm here to contract. Who's ready to contract?" And they would kindly tell him, "We're going to go ahead and put yours off, and we'll get with you in a moment." They wait till last, and next thing you know, they would say, "Okay, sir, you're dismissed." "Oh, okay," and he'd leave. I didn't get it at the time. I heard Sam say this about his friend going in there with the pen and paper, and I understood everything it's always been contract. I know it's all contract. I've known this, but I just couldn't get it. It just didn't ring because it made sense, but it didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to grasp it. Then New Hampshire came out with their right to travel law. The entire state, the legislature, the judicial branch, and the governor got together and they said enough is enough and ordered the DMV to issue permits, licenses, and IDs that specifically and explicitly stated on there that the individual was exempt. And they put in the law the section UCC 9-102 and 9-109. It's about time. But they mentioned that the government and the corporate officials who work for government had failed to tell the people about the corporate offer to contract. The corporation, meaning the government, and they're contracting with the people. You remember the New Deal? Well, that's what Franklin Delano Roosevelt was bringing to all of you. A new contract, a new deal. The Constitution is a contract. You've heard of Congress saying, contract with America. Okay, it's always been contract. Okay, you do your chores, and you're gonna get ice cream and cookies for a snack before you go to sleep. Okay, that's a contract, people. You contract all day long, and you don't even realize it. Every time you swipe that credit card, every time you must click accept if you want to go any further. Every time you click submit or accept on a computer, you are contracting. I just got wind that the Supreme Court is saying that it doesn't want to deal with the net neutrality issue as to whether or not the net neutrality law is constitutional or not. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court literally surprised me with that one. That they said that they were not going to deal with that. Net neutrality. If you don't know what net neutrality is, do a little bit of research. Net neutrality is probably one of the most egregious programs they could put on the internet. Basically, if you have a small website, small company, then traffic going to and from your site, they can control the speed in which your site pulls up. And when you go to a different site like the Amazons or the Microsofts or the whatever, then the speed of getting to those sites going from one page to the next, rapido. That's right, I said rapido. Those of y'all who Espanol, Latin understand rapido. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's supposed to be equal protection of law, even when it comes to commerce and regulation of law. And they have left that. It's all right. Let's get back to the contract, shall we? What happens is these gentlemen, the three gentlemen, I'm going to mention Mr. Starks because it was his putting together the information that he knew, that he had gathered, and then going and watching a couple of videos of a couple of individuals, yours truly included, that he was able to come up with this thing called the self-executing irrevocable this is durable power of attorney. That's the second thing. That's what we're going to talk about today. But the self-executing irrevocable or irrevocable. Now, irrevocable is the way that you have the so-called wannabe idiots who created the words, the legalese stuff, say it. Well, anyway, self-executing irrevocable binding contract, I call it contractual obligation, coupled with interest. The coupled with interest has to be there. Anytime money is involved in a contract, you must say it's coupled with interest. Anytime there is property involved in a contract, you must say coupled with interest. Okay, you just gotta know it. Don't worry about it. Just add it. Don't worry about why I gotta do that. Just do it. Nike time. Just do it. Sorry, the self-executing, there is a gap because I just copied and pasted in here. So let me see. Is there any more? There, one more again. All right. Now, when he came up with the idea, it was under the premise that it's a contract. Now, some people were writing contracts and saying this is a binding agreement and it's self-executing and all of that stuff, but they weren't doing it correctly. He actually did something that was unique. He actually noted that if they failed to respond and or did not respond according to the terms that were written in the contract, that it would constitute their acquiescence. Tacit acquiescence. Tacit acquiescence. That's right. And so that tacit acquiescence is the key. That's the nail in the coffin. That's the hammer in the head. Okay? That's what it is. Sorry. We're going to turn that on and we're going to fix printing. Okay, because that's what that does. It's called HP Scan Doctor, Print and Scan Doctor. Anyway, let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, the way he went about the contract was he posed questions. And he made sure when he posed the questions that they were questions that he had a right to receive an answer to. See, he wasn't just asking questions about, well, is the sky really blue? And or is that just the water molecules? He wasn't asking stupid questions, and some people are going to do that. Some people are going to ask questions that are irrelevant, that are stupid, that are ignorant. But there's no such thing as a stupid. Yes, there is such thing as a stupid question. Yeah, that one right there that you just tried to ask. That's one of them. Now leave me alone. So these gentlemen went ahead and put that together. And it when I first saw it, because they did this, they did their whole process, and then they went and the guy had some funds because he was into the market. He was trading bonds and stocks and all of that. And so he had some funds put aside and he hired an attorney. The attorney took a look and says, well, no, you can't do that. You can't bind the United States to a contract. So when they brought it to me, well, one of them brought it to me, but when it was brought to me, I said, no, you can't bind the United States. The United States is a sovereign country. You can't bind them to a contract. Then a month and a half later, I looked at it again and I'm like, how are they able to do this? Get Congress to pass a private law. So I read it and it stayed on my mind. And so then I said, let me take another look at this. So I went back and I read because I always understood what facts and conclusions of law, that the court must always come to a conclusion or a finding. Well, the very beginning of the law, we have a couple of things to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, because I wrote something to those people at the publishing office. Let me hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull that document up. 1 second. All right, this is what I wrote in an email to the GPO. And you're going to say, "Oh, that's kind of harsh." Well, I've been that way lately. I had somebody email me today about SATCOM, and I basically told him that if he wanted an answer to that, then he should contact SATCOM and not me. That I've already told people don't do that. And I said, I'm only taking the time to respond to you because you are one of the clients. But not even you get to do that. So he wrote me back and he says, well, thanks for the clarification. And I'm thinking, okay, no problem. Then he came back again talking about how he doesn't appreciate being talked to like a child, blah, blah. And I stopped reading after that part. And so I wrote him back. I said, well, first of all, let me make sure you understand that I already told people not to do what you did. You knew not to do what you did, and you did it anyway. I said, I am not used to people coming and knocking on my door, walking into my house, doing whatever they want, i.e., using my email address to communicate with me in a way other than how I direct it. It's mine. I own it. Google does not own my email address. I own that. Google only owns the server. I created the account. The account belongs to me. So when people access my account, oh, you did it on your account. That's right. When they access my account, they must understand it belongs to me. So I responded to the individual. And then I said, as far as being treated like a child, I would never treat a child that way because children know how to listen. And I kindly ended the email and sent it to him. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a headache, a lot on my mind these days, and I have to deal with individuals wanting me to use some sugar and spice and some kindness and some little tenderness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But life has taken that all out of me for the moment. And so when I see that individuals are doing things that just doesn't make any sense, it causes a great deal of frustration, such as the GPO. Let me show you my frustration with them. I asked this organization for a copy of a certified record of the attached matter that was heard before Congress. One of your representatives communicated back to me that such was fraudulent and that they were referring it to your privately obtained and retained counsel. First, I take it very much an offense that an individual would accuse me, an innocent person, of trying to commit some type of fraud and yet documented none of the elements of fraud or what a party was seeking to gain by way of such fraud. How dare you use such legal binding term as fraudulent, a legal binding term as fraudulent, with reference to a simple question, and then give some sort of legal threat? By all means, make this a judicial matter. By all means, let's make this an issue. How dare you people try to hide the fact that this issue took place? Do you not notice the court filing stamp at the top of the document? This was filed in a court case. I am dealing directly with the individuals involved in the private law, and Senator Rand Paul, as well as his office, has confirmed the validity of this particular act that was later repealed. We are not looking for the law. We are looking for the record. If you don't have the record, then say you don't have the record so that we can have an investigation done as to why we have been lied to by your organization and their so-called Library of Congress, the other so-called Library of Congress. As we told you, the Library of Congress told us that Congress does not meet on Saturdays. When a month ago, this Saturday, this past weekend, Congress met on a Saturday. Or in 1871, how Congress met on a Saturday, or how Congress continues to meet on Saturdays periodically throughout the year, especially when they're passing bills such as the Health Care Act and or nominating Supreme Court justices like Clarence Thomas. Yes, his was done on a Saturday. How dare you lie to us and say Congress does not meet on Saturday? All they had to do was look at the top of the document and see it is seated. Anyway, it had your brand, mark, and logo. So nobody is attempting to defraud anybody. We want to see a certified copy of the record. If there is no record, we need an investigation done as to how these documents could have been issued by your offices in the first instance. The fact that I called and am told 2 weeks ago that someone will return my call and have not yet received any communication from anyone regarding this matter, please understand, no, I will not let this matter go. You do not get to ignore me. Sorry, that's my main pet peeve. Try to ignore me and be a government official. I am not attempting to make any threat or unlawful demands upon anyone. You are a government organization. You are required by law to provide the information. You do not get to violate your own policies and the actual duty for which you have been charged. It is not permitted under any circumstances. The record clearly states that this matter was sent to the judiciary, that it was read before Congress twice, that it was vetoed by the president, and then there was an override of the veto. And each of the attorneys associated with the matter that helped bring the matter before Congress and all of the beneficiaries, it is an impossibility for you to say that these individuals do not exist. There's too many details here for you to claim that this is a fraud. We believe the fraud is there was an attempt by your organization to help cover over the fact and findings of Congress. And we say, no. Did you know that the notary associated with this, that wasn't attempted to be prosecuted. In other words, they attempted to prosecute the person because someone claimed that that person was attempting to defraud the United States, only to have the case dismissed once this was introduced to the court. This law and the bill associated thereto. Yes, because you cannot attempt to commit fraud when Congress has said that such is a binding and legal agreement. So that argument has already been tried and did not work. So please stop interfering. Stop giving these general responses that do not directly pertain to the information for which we are communicating. Nobody is asking anything about the validity of the law. How could you respond to us by telling us something is not valid when we specifically said we were not looking as to any validity. So, we want to thank you for listening to our communication. It is my hope that we can resolve this shortly. If I do not hear back from you by the end of the week, I will bring this communication to the attention of others, you all, and to have them communicate with you. Perhaps they might have a little bit more success. It is asked and hope that you have a pleasant day. Ladies and gentlemen, contact the GPO. Let the GPO know that you are looking for the law. What law? You ain't told us what law. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I ain't gonna just leave y'all in alerts like that. The law is private law 114-31. Now we're gonna come back and we got to get back to the findings of Congress. So hold on, y'all. Pay attention. That's the law right there, December 3rd, 2016. And that's the title. It's a private law. Now remember, the law was repealed because there was an amendment which gave them the leeway to repeal it. But let me show you how much of a problem I have with this, that they're trying to say that somebody went through the trouble of trying to defraud somebody. First, the only way they could have done so is if they were trying to incorporate these individuals' names and information with something that had already been done. Sorry, that's too much detail here. Okay, especially the creation of the trust fund and the individuals getting out of the facility and all of that. See, this is a whole lot of work for somebody, including the numbers here. And let me explain the numbers. The original number for this was 4.8 billion. This adjustment and this adjustment and this adjustment is as a result of the time from 2015 until this time. That's what the adjustment is for. That's why at that time it was $20 billion. Now it's over $60 billion because the fees keep accumulating, coupled with interest. Now you understand. Okay. See, the Michael Justice Relief Fund, all these are funds. They created a super fund. Okay? So that you guys understand, the point of this is, from very beginning, it's the contract. The law doesn't matter. The law has nothing to do with this. This is Congress found that it was a binding agreement that the United States, by not responding, by not acknowledging the communication, had agreed. Tacit acquiescence is what it is called. You understand tacit acquiescence. Okay, but many people were using phrases like tacit acquiescence when these guys were basically just saying your failure to respond and refusal to respond and or providing a general response or a non-response will constitute as a agreement to all of the terms and conditions of this agreement. Then they had that very same thing determined by the arbitrator, because the arbitrator only dealt with whether or not these individuals received notice. Now, we have been telling you guys that the law requires that a party receive notice, that they be aware that a matter is pending. Well, they provided proof of service showing that the parties were served. That's all they needed to do. And so they provided the two proofs of service, because it's the original notice, the notice of default opportunity to cure, and then the notices from the arbitrator. Okay, so this is what they did. However, they did something else. Something else, but we ain't gonna tell you all the other thing. The other one is the durable power of attorney. I will put up a general durable power of attorney eventually, letting you guys see what we've done. But the durable power of attorney, we just got 40 of them bad boys notarized. 40, $600 worth of 40. Okay, this communication is to inform you that you are in default of the agreement. Sorry, we got this right here. Okay, the court. Oh, that was the other thing. Ooh, doggy, y'all gonna love that one. Writing an actual motion in the name of the court. Ooh, doggy, because we got some contracts with the court, and our contracts with the court allows us to have power of attorney. So we are writing our motion to the court under our power of attorney. So I'm going to let this copy because I got a headache, so I don't want to read. So we're going to let y'all. I read all the other stuff, so y'all should be happy that I just said enough, and y'all don't have to listen to me. Y'all can listen to good old Dave over here. Dave's last name is Desktop, y'all. So DD, y'all can listen to DD.
If you did not receive the original contract communication and were not aware of its existence, you have three calendar days in which to provide proof of such non-receipt.
Sorry.
This is a good faith effort in providing you with an opportunity to cure your default.
Copy. Hold on.
The contractual agreement includes as an exclusive remedy.
Shut up, Dave. Oh, no, it does have the, I stopped. I didn't go high enough, so that's my fault, y'all. Hold on.
Arbitration. This remedy is only available respecting...
Stop. Top. Now read, Dave.
This communication is to inform you that you are in default of the agreement, and as per the terms of the agreement, you have consented and agreed to all of the terms and conditions contained therein, including but not limited to the self-executing irrevocable durable power of attorney coupled with an interest. If you did not receive the original contract communication, and were not aware of its existence, you have three calendar days in which to provide proof of such non-receipt. This is a good faith effort in providing you with an opportunity to cure your default. The contractual agreement includes as an exclusive remedy arbitration. This remedy is only available respecting the issue of default, whereby you prove based on a preponderance of evidence that you had not received the self-executing irrevocable durable power of attorney coupled with an interest. You may or may not be aware that all the elements of a contract having been met, that the self-executing irrevocable durable power of attorney coupled with an interest supersedes any and all previous contracts between the parties, and is a legally binding contractual obligation upon all parties associated thereto. This is a legal communication. You are to take legal/judicial/special/exceptional notice, as there may be dire and irreparable consequences that may affect you individually, professionally, legally, corporately. The three calendar day time frame commences upon receipt of this notification, and is only applicable within the confines of the self-executing irrevocable durable power of attorney coupled with an interest, terms of agreement. Thank you for your consideration.
This is the language that will be included within our agreement. Okay, when I say agreement, the notification to them, letting them know that they are in default. We did another one, but it was long and lengthy. As you see, this is only one page. At least I hope it's one page. Is it 2 pages? Yeah. No, it's 1 page. Yeah, it's 1 page. All right, so this one's only 1 page. And so we just going to let them know they're in default, give them an opportunity to cure. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why this works, and I will point it out to you because it is necessary for you to know. Device status, there is no device status. It doesn't like the ink refills. All right, so we can skip all this. Look, some of you guys are still not getting the process, and I can't help that because I'm not here to teach you a new process. Let me tell you what you can do. If you have a mortgage situation, you take the information that you see that's on the site, you download the paperwork, you look for the one that is specifically for mortgages. We did it for you so you could have it. Read it, go over it, and see how it binds them to a contract. Don't add a lot of junk to it because you will invalidate the contract. Okay? The contract is written specifically because it's binding on both parties. Because why? The elements of a contract requires it to be that. If you don't want the contract to be kicked out as being invalid, then you have to make sure you put certain things in the contract which are binding. Sorry, we doing some very much CPU. See, we 100% CPU. We gotta correct that because that CPU, look at it, it's almost trying to run off the stadium. The CPU ain't supposed to be that high. But I am running a lot of things. I have the voice recognition, the diamonds and pearls playing in the background by that young man right there, and then I got the video recorder, and then I got the HP thing going on in the background, so I needed to do something, and so we reducing some speeds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you send out the first letter. It is the same administrative process that everybody else has been doing. The only thing about it is they are throwing in the irrevocable, irrevocable self-executing binding contract coupled with interest. Okay, the reason why that is effective because it's the same thing they do to you. Let me tell you how they do that to you. Let's say somebody files a lawsuit against you. They serve you some pieces of junk paper called a summons and complaint. That says that if you don't respond within 30 days, that a default judgment can be entered against you. It's the same process, people. And let's say you don't respond. What happens? The court says, well, you were given notice. You had an opportunity to respond. You didn't respond. So I rule in favor of blah, blah, blah. Okay? That's what happens. So it's the exact same thing. However, this document takes the courts out of the equation so that you don't have to go to court. If they want to challenge, they have to respond within the 10-day period. But they're supposed to get 30 days. No. If they want an extra 10 days, all they have to do is request it. But of course, they're not going to because they like ignoring people. And so when they do ignore, you send out the next letter. Now, see, I give them enough days to where they get almost 27 days. Mailed out some documents on the 15th of October. No, the 10th of October. And the 24th, they should have received their notice of default. They haven't received it yet. I'll be sending it out tomorrow. There's no rush because they don't understand it right now. It hasn't hit them yet. That's why I had to get mine done before I put it out there for the rest of you to get yours done. Because I know that there are going to be some people who are going to do this thing and they're going to, they're going to mutilate it. Well, why aren't you telling it to everybody? Because if I didn't tell it to everybody, you wouldn't know it. And you wouldn't be able to do it. I don't get to pick and choose who I give information to. And if I did, it dang sure wouldn't be you. Now, no, let's be real. Let's be real. If I was going to give this to a selected group of people, you think it would be you? The answer is no. So again, be glad that I'm putting the information out there about this. Be glad that I am the only one doing it. Be glad that these individuals could have went to anybody else, but they came to me. And by doing so, I was able to, it took me 4 months. Because when they first brought it to me, I said, yeah, I'll take a look at it, whatever. And then after the third month, I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. I think you guys got something there. Okay. They told me later that the attorney said the same thing. That when he first saw it, his words were almost identical to mine. And his reaction and response time was almost identical. I just had somebody talk to me this morning. We were having a conversation, my team and someone from a different company. And this gentleman started a debt correction company based on the information largely that he got from my site, got from our site, And when I say site, I'm talking about the YouTube channel, and that he got from other sources. And he was able to start a company and understand the process and has done all right for himself. And so I put him in touch with my team because I wanted them to know and see how all people have to do is just listen. The amount of information that's being given in these videos, when I do videos, anyway, is enough information for them to take care of themselves without trying to kill their neighbor, without trying to gouge their neighbor. Well, anyway, he was telling me that he was speaking to an attorney about a situation, and I was telling him, well, no, this is the reason for that, and this is what you should have did, and this is why they couldn't do this, and this is why they said that. And he says, that's almost word for word what she said. Speaking of the lady who worked at Wells Fargo. I told him I know because the situation doesn't change. They are following the same information that I'm following. They're reading the same publications I'm reading. They're reading the same rules and regulations that I am reading. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to tell you is the process is solid. You're going to have naysayers. So what happens if the court says, no, you can't win, no, the contract is invalid? Then you must thereby challenge that decision. What do you mean challenge that decision? Well, see, if your contract is invalid, that makes every other contract invalid. That makes every other contract invalid. Every other contract that's given to an individual whereby they're told they must respond within a certain period of time, that makes their contract invalid. See, your contract includes, pay attention, it includes consideration, it includes value, it includes all consenting adults above the age of 18. It includes clear and concise language. It includes an offer whereby the party has the right to refuse the offer, but there is stipulations as to how the offer is and can be refused. All of the elements of a contract are there. I even included, when I was doing mine with the court, I included the restatement of contracts as part of the contract. Restatement of contract as part of the contract. If you have not seen or read or reviewed restatement of contracts second, so it's restatement second, SECOND of contract. If you have not reviewed it, you'll see that every aspect of a contract is already written there. So this contract comports to restatement of contract and what's known as simple contract. So if they challenge yours, you challenge theirs. And then you set it as a precedent, saying to everybody and their grandmama, the courts have said you don't have to abide by no summons, no subpoenas, and no so-called failure to appears, no warrants or nothing. Some of you guys will get it, because if they deny you and everyone else the right to contract in such a manner, then it messes up the whole game, because everything is contract. Now they'll call into question every other contract, including these offers to contracts that's done by the courts, by government. Everything gets to be called into question. But since everything is contract, when we told you that you were to simply put void on things to protect your interests, now you understand we were 100% correct. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's only 2 o'clock and I've had this headache since about 11 this morning. So I am going to go and relax, but I wanted to give this information to you all, and hopefully it'll be another 2 months before I do another video. All right, see ya. Have a good day.